Known as Swervin Irvan on the NASCAR circuit, Ernie Irvan was a hard-charging NASCAR driver that always knew how to take a car to the front. In 1993, he took over the driving duties for Robert Ace Racing after the untimely death of their driver, Davey Allison. Irvan and his crew clicked almost from the start, winning 2 races in the fall of 1993. They entered the 1994 championship chase on fire. They dominated the circuit the first third of the year, leading the most laps of the season by a wide margin, and held on to the points lead heading into an August weekend in Michigan. Then during an early morning practice session, Ernie's car would blow a tire, hit the wall hard. He'd be rushed by helicopter to a nearby hospital, where the team would be told he had less than a 10% chance to live. Miraculously, he would not only survive, a little over 1 year later, he'd found himself recovered and behind the wheel of a stock car at North Wilkesboro in the fall of 1995. He'd even lead part of the race, showing signs of the Ernie of old. Now, to make the story even better, in 1996, Ernie would come back to race the entire season, and by July, at Loudon, New Hampshire, he found himself leading the race again.
The last 10 or 15 laps, it's like those laps seemed like it was about 4-1. You know, it took that long to run the last few laps, and to finally see it take that checkered flag and to know what that had to mean. I know what it meant to us, but to know what that had to mean to Ernie Irvan is just, it's really hard to even describe, because I know it had to be a big relief even to him.
When the checkered flag fell, Ernie Irvan had made his comeback all the way to victory lane, an incredible inspiration to us all.
That was something we set our mind to do at the beginning of the year, and I set my mind to do that, you know, 2 years before that, and you know, it was just it was a major accomplishment. It's a lot like winning your first race, but it was probably even more satisfying for us because we had been in victory lane before, and it had been so long now, and everything that we had to go through to be able to do that, I mean, that just makes you appreciate it more.
Irvan would win a second time in 1996 with a victory at Richmond in an exciting tight finish with defending Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon. It was a victory in a dream comeback that meant a lot to Ernie.
The Loudon win wasn't as emotional as the win at Richmond because we had to race so hard for Richmond and you know, had to earn it. And Loudon, we basically, you know, were the best car. And you know, the race at Richmond was just something that we raced really hard all day and ended up winning the race. And you know, those are the races that you really appreciate. I mean, the Loudon win was exceptionally you know, gratifying, but that race at Richmond was really satisfying. It really was a long way away from that waiting room because, again, I was there in that waiting room when that doctor come in kind of with his head down and told myself and Robert and his family about a 10 to 15% chance of survival. Certainly, even a day like a year ago here on his return was not even on our mind at that point, much less coming back and winning. But, again, I think it just shows as long as everybody had faith and knowing that all the prayers that come in from all the fans and out there, how strong that power can really be.
When he won the race, everybody was saying, well, his comeback is complete. You know, I thought his comeback was complete the day he fired up the car to drive it for a first 500-mile race. I thought it was complete then. Quite frankly, if he had never won another race, he had done one of the most astonishing things I've ever seen done in sports, any sport. So it remains quite a remarkable story.